Ever feel like there's got to be more out there? Like some kind of magic just waiting to be discovered?
Oh, absolutely. It's that feeling that keeps us young at heart, that spark of wonder that never really goes away.
Well, today we're diving into a story that captures that feeling perfectly.
I love it. Let's hear it.
It's called Il mistero del bosco incantato, the mystery of the enchanted forest, for those of us who don't speak Italian. And it's all about finding that magic right in our own backyards.
Sounds intriguing.
So picture this, a tiny village tucked away at the base of this massive, snow-covered mountain.
Ooh, I can almost feel the crisp mountain air already.
Right. And the author really emphasizes that sense of isolation, almost like this village is cut off from the rest of the world.
Which makes you wonder what secrets it might hold, especially with that enchanted forest looming nearby.
Exactly. And that forest is where we meet our main character, Alice. Now, Alice is described as this curious, adventurous little girl. She's always exploring, always asking questions.
That kind of kid who sees magic in everything.
Exactly. The story even says she believes the trees whisper stories to her.
Ah, I love that. It's like the forest itself is alive, full of untold secrets, just waiting to be discovered.
And wouldn't you know it, Alice stumbles upon one of those secrets. Deep in the forest, she finds this ancient, moss-covered temple.
Ooh, a hidden temple. That's classic fairy tale material right there.
Right. And this temple is totally shrouded in mist, making it even more mysterious.
It's like stepping into another world, that mist blurring the lines between reality and fantasy. Perfect for sparking a young reader's imagination.
And boy, does this other world deliver on the fantasy. We're talking elves, fairies, gnomes, the whole shebang.
Now, those are some classic fantasy creatures. I'm curious, though, are they just there for decoration or do they play a bigger role in the story?
Well, they definitely play a role. Each creature represents different aspects of this magical world.
I see. So, like, the elves embody the forest's wild energy and the fairies.
Yeah.
What do they represent?
The fairies, with their shimmering wings and glowing lights, well, they embody the magic itself.
Ah, that makes sense. They're like little bundles of enchantment, flitting about and making everything sparkle.
And then you have the gnomes, wise and watchful, like the guardians of the forest's ancient secrets.
It's as if the whole forest is a character in itself, full of life and personality.
Absolutely. And guiding Alice through this magical world is a fairy named Lumina. I don't know about you, but I love a good dynamic duo.
Oh, for sure. Lumina meaning light. It's like she's a beacon for Alice. That spark of courage and hope to guide her through this unfamiliar world.
She'll need that courage because things aren't all sunshine and rainbows in this magical kingdom. An evil wizard has taken over, imprisoning the fairies and draining the land of its magic.
The classic battle between good and evil. But in this case, it's not just a battle for power. It's a battle for the very heart of this enchanted world.
And what's interesting is that Alice, a little girl, becomes the kingdom's only hope. Not some powerful warrior, but a regular kid.
It really highlights the power of innocence and imagination, right? It's not about brute force. It's about that unwavering belief in good and that inner strength we all possess, especially as children.
And Alice definitely puts that strength to the test. With Lumina by her side, she faces all sorts of challenges. Tricky riddles, dangerous creatures, you name it.
Those challenges are more than just plot devices, though. They're opportunities for Alice, and by extension, the reader, to learn valuable lessons about resilience, problem-solving, and believing in yourself.
And boy, does she learn those lessons. Eventually, it all leads to this epic showdown with the wizard in his dark and imposing castle. You can practically hear the dramatic music swelling.
It's like David versus Goliath, but instead of a slingshot, Alice's weapon is her own imagination.
And her quick thinking. And you know what? Spoiler alert. Good triumphs over evil. The wizard is defeated, the fairies are freed, and the magic returns to the kingdom.
It's a classic ending for a reason. It reaffirms that hope and courage can overcome even the darkest of obstacles. A powerful message for young readers.
It makes you wonder, though, what's the lasting impact for Alice? After all, she goes back to her village, back to her normal life.
But she's not the same Alice anymore. She's seen the magic, faced her fears, and discovered a strength she never knew she had. That experience changes her, even if the village remains the same.
That's such a great point. So for our listeners, what's the biggest takeaway from this story?
I think it's a reminder that we all have that same spark of magic within us, that same potential for courage and imagination. Like Alice, we just need to believe in ourselves and embrace the adventure, even if it's just in our own backyard.
Beautifully said. So who's ready to go explore and see what magic they can discover?
The world is full of enchanted forests, just waiting for us to step through the mist and find them.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.